we all remain standing to receive our brother, our elder, Brother Nathan. Let us receive him by shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shalom, shalom. Giving all praises to Yah, to the Lord of all worlds, and to Sar and the elders, and to the family of Israel. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So we're going to let everybody be seated. I just came to visit with you again. I like to try to get out and just see what's going on, see how Israel is moving, because we're in a movement. We're trying to restore the preserve of Israel for these nations and countries that we live in. And so I just kind of like to get out every now and then and just see what's going on. You know, see are we progressing, what are we doing? Young Moray was talking earlier when I first came about sacrifice. He mentioned different sacrifices. He talked about the burnt offering, and he talked about the different things that were sacrificed during those times that we was in our land and we came before Yah to seek atonement and appeasement, and for whatever reason. And that's a good thing to know. But then Yah said that when we come back to the land that we will do those things where he placed his name. We'll do that once again when he reestablished the temple and all these things in the book of Ezekiel. But what do we sacrifice today to Yah? That is the question that should be in our hearts and minds. Because he still requires a sacrifice. And a sacrifice means to give up something. You see, you have to give something that you have. You have to let it go and destroy it. Get rid of it. Give it to him. Destroy it for him as a gift unto him. And so I just want to share a little bit with you about that, if that's okay. And so if we go to the book of Psalms, the 50th chapter, he said, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Not just a covenant that, hey, man, me and you agree, but then there's something else that takes place in this agreement. It means that there's something that you have to do and give up in order to prove that agreement. And that's what the sacrifice is about, you see. And so when we look here, if we will just go to Psalms chapter 15, verse number 4. I'm not going to try to take too much of your time, but I'm just going to share this little bit with you. In the 4th verse. Now, what David is talking about is who he associate with, who he will be known to be associated with. But then he mentioned in the 4th verse, it says, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. See what the elder just said, the Sar said earlier about hatred, hating those that hate Yah, the enemies of Yah. See, this is what David is mentioning. He says, but he honoreth them that fear Yah. See, this is the type of person and friendship that we should seek in each other. Those that have hatred in their heart for the wicked, for those that are the enemy of the Most High. But then we should have love for those that have love for Yah. That means now we must sometimes give up friendships. That's a sacrifice. That I ain't gonna hang with him no more because he don't want to keep the Sabbath. He want to eat the pork. He want to chase the hoe. You understand? He want to do these things that expresses hatred toward my Elohim. You see, so I can't continue to hang with him lest I say to my Elohim that I hate you too. Because now I'm cleaving to the wicked instead of cleaving to you. So there must be a sacrifice. You got to give up friendship sometimes. You got to give up your values sometimes. We were taught, my uncle always said I was born a Baptist, I was bred a Baptist, and when I die, I'm going to be dead a Baptist. And in so many words, he telling my mama, I don't care what you say, I'm going to continue to what I was taught. Sometimes we have to give up those values that we have been taught, that has been instilled in us by our parents and our grandparents, because they had the cursed mind. It's not their fault. You got to fulfill the Creator's word. He said we were going to serve these deities. We were going to serve these people. We were going to integrate into their worlds and become servants, you understand, of these people. We're going to live like they live. They're going to be lords over us. They make the laws and the statutes in this land. But then he said there will come a time when the resurrection, the valley of dry bones, the resurrection will begin to take place. And now you have to make a choice. Will you continue on in these things that you have learned and gained in your enemy's land? Or will you what? Sacrifice these things and turn back to Yah and begin to learn his culture, his values, his righteousness, his laws, his statutes, his way of doing things, his way of living. See, you have to give up something to prove this agreement. It's not just because Yah say we love him with our mouth. That's easy. I mean, how many times somebody told you they love you and then turn around and do something against you? That love wasn't proven. We lie, we get married, we say until death do us part, better or worse, soon as worse come, or poor, we gone, we bail out. We get sick, I want to take care of you. See that is something that proves that there was no love. For that person might have been for the things that he or she was doing, but it wasn't for you. Some of us, we serve Yah because of what he do. Not because we love him, but because of the benefits. You understand? Some of us got jobs that we love the benefits, but we don't want the job. But we stay with it because of the benefits. But Yah wants you to be in a mutual love with him. Just like he loved you, he wants you to love him because of. You understand? And so we have to give up. We have to make certain sacrifices in our lives. When the world have a trend and it's going this way, look what the brothers say. And he that swear to his own hurt. What hurt? That means you're going to suffer. You're going to go through some things trying. The brother said it earlier in the furnace of affliction. What is affliction? It ain't a good time. And a child is getting a whooping for doing something wrong about affliction. They can explain it to you well. And so to agree to this, to your own hurt, that means now you might go through loneliness. He told you to look at Abraham. He called him how many? Alone. He had to leave the comfort of his community. He had to leave the comfort of his people and go out into a world full of people, but yet he was the only one living like he was living. So that made him be what? Alone. Sometimes you're going to get lonely on this path. You want friendships with people, but you got to understand what it'll cost you. And now what must take place in your mind is what is more important, your relationship with the Creator, whom you don't see now. All these people that you see with all this stuff going on. We made that mistake. We had that decision to make one day, and we chose an earthly king over the one that was our king that we couldn't see. Because we can't deal with the fact that there are two realities confronting us every day. That's our reality that we create from our thinking, and then that is the reality of the Creator, which is the true reality. Our reality is artificial. See? But the reality of the Creator is real. And it lasts through our lives and our lifetimes and generations. The truth is here forever. That's a reality, whether we want to embrace it or not. And so when you swear to this, don't look and say, you know what, it's getting a little hard now. Now I want to twist the law a little bit because I want to dibble and dabble out there with them sometimes. And so now I'm going to twist the law a little bit. See, I want a smooth road now. Israel cried for that too one time. And it cost them because in each instance, they took the Creator's name as the Moreh said. Sar said it earlier. He said it great. He said it loud and clear. In vain. It meant nothing. You go outside in the community, your parents have a name. Everybody tell you that's so-and-so child. And they'll tell you how your parents live. And if you're doing something in contradiction to that, what they'll tell you. You know better than that. You know your dad and mama don't allow you to do that. They protecting your parents' reputation. And that's what the Creator's talking about. His name. You have to protect the reputation. His name is holy.
That's all right.
And so your associations and all these things is involved in what the Moreh was teaching you about and telling you about. You have to be willing to sacrifice. He says, and change not. That means no matter how the world, you understand, evolves.
Yeah.
You know, one day it was a taboo to be gay. Now it's what? It's a taboo to be normal.
Right.
One day it was a taboo to be a whore. Now it's a taboo to be a what? Virgin.
It's all right.
See, the world is forever changing. It's unstable. That's what confusion is. But a lot of us changing with it.
That's all right.
We don't have no problem being around a homosexual or a lesbian. We don't have no problem being around a homemonger or a whore. But if you're really righteous, if somebody bought some mess and dropped it in the floor, all of y'all will get up and scatter. You don't want to be around that. It stinks. That's what sin is to the Creator. That's why in Isaiah he said that what? Sin separate you from Him.
There you go.
So you need to be cautious in your relationships, in what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you embrace, your values. All of these things need to be evaluated, looked at hard. And that's what you need to do. And so when you go back, let's go back over to Psalms 51, verse 17, 16 and 17. For thou desired not sacrifice, else would I give it. Thou delighted not in burnt offering. See, this ain't what he asked us when we came out of Egypt. He asked us to do what? Obey. That's what he desired more than anything. Then he says, the sacrifices of Yah, you understand, are a broken spirit. See, I feel bad because of what I'm doing. See, a guilt conscious. Somebody that's willing to look at themselves and admit they're wrong. That, you know what, I am wrong. And I need to change. What can I do? Then he says, a broken and a contrite heart, O Yah, thou wilt not despise. Why? Because you can work with this type of mind, a repentative mind. Because that mind is ready for what? Correction. You can help it. Child do something wrong, they come to you and say, Abba, I'm sorry. What can I do? Well, son, you can start doing what I'm telling you to do and get your act together. You're going to begin to instruct him. Because that's what you want. That's what you're seeking as a parent, as an obedient child, a humble spirit that will, what? Listen to you, and not only listen, but also carry out, implement the things that you're saying in his or her life. And that means that child got to give up something. That obstinate mind. That hard-headed mind. That rebellious mind. See, that's another sacrifice. Pride. We got to sacrifice our pride. See, we got to let some things go. And so we need to, let's look at Proverbs 21 and one more. We're going 24, one more, and I'm going to sit down and be quiet. But I thank you once again, sorry for, and that's just me, leader, that, giving me opportunity, but I just came to visit with you all. But it's always a pleasure. It says, my son, fear. See, See how things keep coming up? Fear thy Yah. Fear thy Yah and the king. See, you're supposed to have respect for leaders that are over you, that the Creator put over you. Because he's working what? Through them. And if they, just like when the prophets came, the first thing the people said is, well, what's, everything all right? Because they know that the Creator is working through them for your good. And that means that they might come with a chastisement. See, you got to understand when y'all set up things and arrange things, he don't deviate from it.
No, you don't.
He don't deviate from it. Y'all change not. So we need to accept this and look at leadership different, with more of a respectful mindset instead of this just, my son, my 11-year-old, made a mistake before I left. He intervened in a conversation me and his mother was having in a joking way. And so I stopped and I said, son, I'm your daddy. I said it just like that. I said, I ain't none of your toy. Don't you ever play with me again. He said, yes, sir, I will. See, Sirach say you don't play with your children. They'll lose respect for you. See, sometimes the children will forget who you are too because you smile at them. But I have to always let my children know that, hey, I'm your father. I'm your Abba. I'm the head of the household. I'm the Lord of this house. Your mother is a pillar in this home. She's second in command. And then there's you. You in command when I tell you, go tell your brother or go tell your sister. See? And so when you keep this understood, don't mean that I laugh and talk with my children. We play chess. We do things together. But I do it in a certain kind of way. Because I understand, just like the old folks say, if you lay down with a dog and he lick you in the face, don't hit him. Because what did you do? You got down on his level. But if he jump up, that's another thing. See, in all things, we have to have an understanding. And this is what leaders, we have to do. We have to keep ourselves in a certain way with the people. And then the people have to keep themselves in a certain way with the leaders. So that they can honor Yah. And then he says, also, meddle not with them that are given to what? So now if daddy want to go along with it, if sister want to go along with it, if cousin want to go along with it, if partners want to go along with it, guess what? Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Look at this little kid that went to prison with these other guys, trying to help them. He wasn't involved in the actual crime, but he got involved in something wasn't his business. He should have let his friends, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Don't come to me. You done committed a crime. Go on about your business. If you want to do this and do that, I can't save you if my God is cursing you. Go on about your business. People changing with the world. How many of you will whoop your children today if they wrong? But the world has legislated a law that put fear in your heart. That say, you know what? That's what? Aggravated assault. See, the world is changing. Not for the good. The world is moving in the opposite direction of the Most High. He told you in the book of Daniel, this last kingdom was going to what? Speak great things against Yah and think to change his laws and times. And that means everything that you're learning over here is opposite coming from Washington and religion and school. So don't worry, don't waste your time trying to convince a fool that he a fool. He'll convince himself one day.
Yeah, you're right.
Because that's energy and time that you're losing that you could be working on who?
On yourself.
On yourself. Now last, Psalm 71 and verse 17 and 18. Let me ask all of y'all a question. If I went to the garden and picked some okra, and I said to you all, y'all can have some of this okra, but you gotta wait till these heathens get through picking okra. Would you want that okra? Why? It's okra. But why wouldn't you want it? Because the best went to the heathen. In Ecclesiastic, y'all tell us, remember him in the days of our youth. Before, see, that's the best of your life. Before you start getting old and then your eyesight, your hearing, and all these things start regression, you understand, declining, and this and that. Now, you don't have much to give him but what is withered up.
That's so true.
Y'all don't want leftovers. And then, you that have come to him in your youth and have followed him up until today, in your old age, y'all expect for you to do a certain kind of work in Israel.
Yes, yes.
And that is to work to restore the preserve. Preserve is that which is kept for something. These children. That's the preserve of Israel, because you're going to die. Who going to be walking in this path when you gone? How you going to preserve your way of life? Through your children. And that's why it says, oh, Yah, thou hast taught me from my youth, and hitherto have I declared thy wondrous works. All the way up until now. I've been making it known. I've been making it known. Then he says, now also when I am old and gray-headed, and I'm getting gray. I'm 52 now, and I'm getting gray. But some of us are a little bit grayer than others.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
And so you know what he's saying. O Yah, forsake me not until I have showed thy strength unto this generation and thy power to everyone that is to come. See, that's another sacrifice. A lot of us want to get old and retire. We want to play. I done seen that. We want to play. We want to take, and we don't want to invest in the future generation of our children. We just want to play. We want to go on this type of vacation, that type of vacation. We want to go over here. See, we want to play instead of doing what a righteous man and woman should be doing. You got to leave here. What did Nehemiah say? Remember me for what? Going to Bahamas? Taking all these trips and having fun? Or taking care of the business of Yah? Because what he read in Malachi, didn't it say a book of remembrance was being written? So what you going to lay down on? What was your sacrifices to the Creator? What did you give to prove that you walking in covenant with him? Just think about these things, Kassadim. Thank you. Shalom, shalom.
Let us all say hallelujah. 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 Praise the Almighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. Let Yahweh be magnified. At this time, let us all receive the cry by shouting hallelujah.
Hallelujah.